Hi, welcome to the Faculty Hour. Let's hear the theme song.
Oh, I turned it off. Wait.
It's a bit of an auspicious start to
Oh,
another
no, I
episode
screwed
of
up.
the Faculty Hour. Here we go. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. Bumpy takeoffs equal gentle flights, right, Peter?
Real sorry about that, but yes.
I don't care. It's a fun time, Faculty Hour. Welcome, everyone out there watching it live on Blind Tiger Comedy YouTube channel. And those of you watching it when it is not live and recorded at a later date. Who knows what the world will be when you're watching it, but I hope you get a little bit of satisfaction and joy from this nightmare of a show, this beautiful show. I'm Ryan, and this is something called the Faculty Hour, in which I, every week, interview a different member of the Blind Tiger Comedy Academy faculty. We talk about improv, we talk about comedy, and we talk about who they are as people. We get to know them a little bit, and some fun questions too, and maybe some questions from people out there in the chat logs. And then we all go home, and it's not actually an hour. And sometimes you hear my dogs walking around on the floor with their little nails going. I have my plucky sound person here. Peter, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Thank you. You'll be manning the chat window
On the
for
chats.
us?
On the chats.
Okay, good. So anytime, if you have any questions for me or the guest or just yourself that you want to pose that we can talk about, just put them in the chat and Peter will relay them to me as we go on. So, wow. How many people are watching? Is it a record out there, Peter?
A record 13.
Holy shit! Oh, yes. Okay, so I'm happy that that's lucky number 13, episode 4. We have a beautiful guest. You know him. You love him. It's Aaron Reed.
Woo, 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 woo.
Hello.
How are you, Aaron? Thank you for joining.
Hey, no problem. I'm doing okay. I'm doing good. Just kind of chilling
I
out in
hadn't asked you that yet. I don't think I asked you how you're
hot
doing.
room.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
I thought you said how. Oh, did I? Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
So
you
keep
asked me
going.
how I am.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. What does auspicious mean?
Kind of for me, you're putting me on the spot. I use auspicious whenever something like doesn't go according to plan in a sarcastic way.
Oh, okay.
Auspicious, though, I don't know the full definition of the word auspicious. Let's look it up. Peter, can
Okay.
you look up auspicious?
Auspicious. It's an adjective.
No, this is
conductive-
Aaron.
oh.
Aaron, we need to fill time. Like we need to do stuff like this. So keep those honest questions coming.
Conductive.
Aaron Reed,
Oh,
you
sorry.
are our guest. Yeah, in general, you're doing good. How's your day going? How's your life in the short term going? Things are swell for you in
Yeah.
quarantine.
Yeah, they're going okay. I usually get up a little bit later, so I had to get up for this, which is good.
Okay, good. Yeah, and this is a 1 p.m. show, everyone. Just so you know, just so if you're watching the future, this is taped at 1 p.m. So yeah, so that's good. We got you up. Yeah.
I had to set about 4 alarms just to make sure I got up.
What's your normal wake up time? And no judgment, because I know we're all different. Some of us are night owls. You're a bit of a night owl.
I'm a bit of a night owl. It depends. Sometimes I get ripping and I'll stay up till 7. If that's the case, I get up at 3.
Yeah.
But usually I go to bed around 4, and then I get up at around noon.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I love
not
it.
the worst.
Wake up. It's not the worst at all.
Yeah, I like
and
it too.
in fact, nothing's the worst. Get up whenever you want. I made this this faculty hour backdrop. I made it
cool.
today, 5 minutes before I started the show. 3D.
Whoa, sick.
Yeah, it's sick. Okay, great. That's the get to know you. No, we're gonna get to the get to know you section. So like we've done just a little brief hello, and now we're just gonna like find out who you are a little bit more, Aaron Reed. Okay?
Yeah.
Where are you from? You're born in Burnaby, British Columbia. Is that right?
Born in Burnaby, British Columbia.
Give it up for Burnaby.
Yeah, Burnaby, Cougar's Boutique, Fog and Suds.
More Burnaby references. Give me some more Burnaby references.
Fog and Suds.
Yeah, said that twice.
Cameron Library,
Ooh.
Red Robins, Bootlegger back in the day.
Yeah.
Stitches doesn't exist anymore.
Wow, cool.
But they had cool graphic tees. I bought a Stitches t-shirt when I was a teenager
Yeah.
that had barbed wire on it.
Oh yeah, tough. You worked once. You worked behind the counter at a paintball establishment, correct? When you
Yes,
were a younger
at my
person.
cousin's paintball store. I worked there when I was 16. I did not know what I was doing,
Yeah.
and I kind of I hindered the business quite a bit.
Yeah.
And
Did you
then
at all ever get into paintball? Did you ever go
I
like, you know what? I think I like this.
I thought it was cool, and my
Yeah.
cousins were cool older guys.
Yeah.
So I did it one time,
Yeah.
and then never did it again.
Mhm.
And then I worked at a store where I was supposed to be the expert.
Yeah. And you just faked your way. Did you use your improv skills in that setting?
Absolutely not. I
Yeah.
was anxious the entire time. I actually got shingles because I was so stressed out from that job.
I bet the clientele would be kind of stressful people.
Yeah, there's like
yeah.
militia guys, like military guys, lots
Mhm.
of bros.
Yeah.
One time I did lots of bad stuff. Like one time I let a guy try out a paintball
Yeah.
gun outside, just against the side of the store.
You just let it like you're trying to sell. He wanted to give it a go, wanted to sell it on it.
Yeah, he was like, "Can I try this out?" I was like, "I guess." And then he was just in the parking lot shooting the building.
Well, here's the thing: from where I stand, people who like really like paintball, like they're like gun enthusiasts who are like, "Oh, I just wish I could shoot people though, like as well." So they were like, "Yeah."
So I
so,
get these
yeah.
purple little orbs.
But that's, you know what, you like at paintball, and people have fun with it. You worked at a store, and then how
Pretty
did you
cool.
find your way to the improv and like in comedy and performing, Aaron? Did you do it in high school?
Well,
Did you do it as a boy?
when I was like 11 or
Mhm.
something, me and my sister won this scholarship to
Yeah.
a theater program, which like a summer. We basically won $75 that would allow you
Yeah.
to take a summer class, where we got to where we had to make up. We had to make up a show with a group of other weird kids,
Yeah.
and we had to sing songs and do sketches, and I did sketches, and
Do you remember? You wrote some sketches?
I remember my first interaction with being like, "Oh, I like comedy," was when we did this exercise where we all had to physically make a stage picture of something, and the teacher chose a plane crash. So everyone was all dead bodies and stuff, and then but my choice was I was still the what are they called, the flight
pilot?
attendant,
Oh, the
flight attendant, and I was offering snacks to dead people, and that was I was like, whoa, I'm pretty good at comedy.
You took it to another level.
Yeah, dude. And I also
But I want to go back. What kind of teacher chooses a plane crash to reenact for a group of children?
I don't know. They're like, "Oh, right, now it's a plane crash, and everyone's died."
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you were hooked. You were from a young age.
And then I didn't really have any outlet for it until high school, when I joined. I auditioned for the improv team in grade 9, not grade 8, but in grade 9.
And that would be with the Canadian Improv Games, probably.
CIG, baby.
CIG, baby.
Yep.
A lot of people did the CIG. And so that was your outlet. And then it all cavalcated from there. Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. You just started doing comedy. Great. Okay. So, and Aaron Reed, I do the Sunday service with Aaron Reed on top of being in Blind Tiger Comedy with Aaron Reed. But Aaron, you also have gotten into stand-up comedy. Would you say of recent? Or is that like, it's not that of recent. It's because I've just known you so long.
Yeah, yeah.
My personal knowledge of you is like 5 years to me is like of recent.
As of recent. Yeah. I got into stand-up 5 years ago. And then I kind of started doing it a lot more seriously about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And
is that why? You just like, did you always sort of like have a flair for it a little bit, or always like wanted to try it, or like?
I think I always wanted to try it.
Yeah.
I wanted to do like some sort of sketch, but I'm really bad at coordinating schedules, and organizing things stresses me out. So I was just like, I'll just do stand up, because then it's just all up to me. Like I don't.
The only person you let down is yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like the boring answer.
Mhm.
But
It's pretty good.
one day I just popped open the yearbook and I looked at my grade 12 yearbook and, you know, Brian had written like, I'll see you at the fucking yuck yucks, dude. And I was like, can't disappoint Brian.
Where's Brian now?
Yeah,
Oh,
who
yeah.
knows? Who knows?
I would love to do a whole faculty hour just on looking at the stupid things people wrote in my yearbook. We
You
were
should
all
do-
stupid. We were all stupid. I'm not, like with the
Yeah,
things
yeah.
we wrote in each other's yearbooks when you're at that just interesting age of graduating high school. You're just so stupid
Yeah.
and beautiful.
You should do a faculty hour. You should kind of change faculty hour so it's just you talking to people you went to high school with.
Oh man, about improv?
Yeah. I don't know what this is. I have 3 kids, Ryan.
Why are you doing this to me?
Why did I agree to this?
Yeah. I'm a salesman. Okay, great. That was good. To any other stuff comedy wise, like in performance highlights.
Well, I'd say
you know.
like when I was really young when you guys nabbed me from my little cocoon. No, I was really young when you guys asked me to do Sunday service. So that was a highlight for me because I think that kind of like legitimized stuff.
Well, that's a highlight for me too, buddy.
That was fun.
Yeah. And let's do some fun questions. Speaking of fun, I like to break up the earnest questions with some fun questions. And I usually go to a place called conversationstartersworld.com. And these are just 250 fun questions to ask to get kind of fun responses. So pick a number between 1 and, they say 1 and 25. There's not 250.
Okay.
I might have added a 0 there.
I'll choose 17.
17. Okay. Oh, okay. What? Well, this has already been answered. What is the craziest thing one of your teachers has done? And that would be making you reenact a plane crash when you were younger.
Yeah.
Let's just round up to 18. When did you screw everything up, but no one ever found out it was you?
Good God.
Yeah. And these are supposed to like things like, are you bad at like conversations? Like, try these on for size.
When did I screw up and no one...
basically it's like, did you ever cover anything up you want to admit? That's still covered up. Like you're trying to be outed here. For crime, maybe.
What did I ever screw up that no one found out about? When I was a kid, I've always had like a crazy like sweet tooth. Like it might be like something psychological that I should unpack, but no, it's funny. I meant that as a joke.
Okay.
Like this morning, if there's cookie dough in the house, I have to eat it all. When I was a kid, my friend had got chocolate bars every day for school as a treat, and I was super jealous, and I wanted them so bad, so I used to steal them before recess.
Whoa.
I would run to the woods, and I would eat them in the woods, and then I would hide the wrapper in a stump.
Stumps are full of bad things. Like
Yes.
if there's a woods near like where young people congregate, they're gonna find a stump and stash something.
Something in it. Yeah, it's perfect. It's got little nooks and crannies.
Yeah, you can rip it off. It's probably a bit rotten. Yeah. Okay. So that was. Oh, thanks. Oh,
no one ever found out about that.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, here's one, Aaron. This is the last one on the list. If you were given a 1-minute ad slot during the Super Bowl that you couldn't sell, what would you fill it with? I don't know why they had to qualify that you can't sell it. So, like, if you had a 1-minute slot, you can do anything you want. And it's a Super Bowl commercial.
Okay.
Like, what would you do with your 1-minute slot? For whatever reason, they also indicated that you can't sell it because some boring person might be like, "I'd sell it for $1 billion." Next question.
Right.
Idiots.
I'd probably do like a shot of a seagull, and then do a shot of 2 seagull hands. Like not the
they don't have hands.
Not the feet or the wings. Like I would create seagull type hands, kind of like skeleton witchy hands, but they're the same color as the feet.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it picking up sunglasses and putting on the sunglasses.
Yeah. And that's it. So it would just be a 1-minute sort of like, would it be CGI? Would it be a practical puppet?
It would be like a stuffed seagull and then practical effects for the
Yeah.
sunglasses and then putting them on.
Yeah, that's like it. No music.
And I know we couldn't sell anything, but I would
Yeah.
put either Gillette or Oakley's under there.
Oh, that's fine. You can put anything you want in it. That's
okay, I
great.
put Oakley's.
Yeah, so it's that'd be a dope Oakley's ad. It's funny to like, yeah, if you were like a billionaire, put out like a pirate ad for a company that isn't really insulting. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Just kind of like weird people out with the company would be really funny.
I've had so many ideas if I had $1 million of what I would do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like
Give me some of them. This is great. That should be on this conversation question website.
Well,
what would you do with $1 million?
One of the ones I think I've told you before, but if I was like a billionaire, I'd like to buy the rights to a run of Miss Saigon, I think.
Okay.
And then because that's the one with the helicopter, right?
The helicopter, yeah.
Yeah,
the helicopter
yeah.
comes in, yeah.
So I would for one night, I wouldn't tell them, but this would be my demand. One night in the New York run of Miss Saigon, when the helicopter comes down one night, it would have a mouth and cartoon eyes, and it would sing a song about being I'm a helicopter, and that's maybe insensitive because I'm pretty sure that what does that play about?
It's about the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
And I believe orphans of soldiers who are over there.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah.
Like there's some heavy concepts,
heavy subject matter.
But it is of like the that old style Broadway, like but people go to it to see the helicopter.
Yeah, and then I would the helicopter.
You know what you could do to maybe like you could take that idea and put it onto Phantom of the Opera, because the chandelier comes down to Phantom of the Opera, and you could do whatever you want with Phantom of the
talking
Opera.
chandelier.
Yeah, like I'm a chandelier,
and then it gives birth to a light bulb.
Now you're talking.
That's my daddy. So stuff like that, where it would only for that one night, I would have ruined about 400 people's night
and just blown their minds.
Yeah.
Like, what they're just rich tourists who are like out for a night on the town.
Yeah.
And then suddenly the chandelier or the helicopter is singing a solo. That's great. That's great. So we're gonna get into our main topic now, but just before quiet time, Peter, are people asking questions on the chat?
We got a couple of questions.
Okay, good. Save them for later and put them in the chat.
We'll
do some questions from the chat later. If you have any questions for Aaron about anything related to improv or comedy or what you would do with $1 million, that's fun. But we're going to get into our main topic. Every faculty hour, Aaron, we do a main topic that we start talking about for a bit. And usually it has something to do with comedy or improv. That's what the point of the show is. And today I thought we'd talk about warm-ups.
Cool.
And pre-show rituals.
Nice.
For improv, but for anything really, for any kind of live performance, because you've had lots of experience with that, not only with comedy, but with music and theater. So just like the value of warm-ups, how your warm-up routine might have changed or evolved over the years, and what you think is good and what you think is bad. Well, so is anything you want to start with on warm-ups?
Like, are you talking about just before a show or improv warm-ups and stuff?
I think we're talking about like everything. Like, I think let's talk about just before a show. Yeah, let's keep it to just before a show.
Cool.
And we can talk about it in any capacity we want. But warm-ups.
Yeah. If it's just before an improv show, I like to just kind of. I mean, I'm going to have some anxiety and be nervous, depending on how my day was or whatever. But I just like to hang out and talk with friends, and usually I have a drink, just like a non-alcoholic drink, like a Diet Coke or something like that, and then a little treat, and then I don't like to go on stage with anything in my pockets or on me, like my keys or my wallet. I put that all in my backpack before I go out. And yeah, and improv, even I think I take off my wristwatch when I do improv, but not stand up.
Yeah. Stand up, you might need to look at your watch.
Yeah, and stand up's like a bit more like
I'm
hey,
just Aaron.
This is me.
Yeah.
But improv's like I could be anything.
Just suspend your imagination.
Which is silly. Like, obviously, if they're, if I'm being a goblin, then they're not like, that guy's not actually a goblin.
I understand the impetus. I understand like the kind of wanting to shed the connections to the real world in some respect. And so I think you're right. I think for improv, for me, the best warm-up is just connecting with the other players,
Yeah, just talking and
just
joking.
talking and being there and joking. But it is good to have like some kind of like of recent with the Sunday service, which the improv group Aaron and I are in. When we were doing live shows, we started doing, and this has been for a while now. This is the same of recent, but we've been doing like a few exercises or a few little warm up games for the show, and I really like that because it's a place to put your nervous energy, regardless of what you get out of it. It's good to just sort of like do something a bit structured. To focus your energy if you're getting a little anxious.
I feel like it's a fine line. I feel like it's good to warm up enough to feel like loose, but if you warm up too much, you just kind of get nervous. And I always like the school of thought of like the more important you think the show is, the worse it's going to be.
Yeah.
So like you should care intrinsically about it. Like that's just should be built into your mindset to care about the show, but you shouldn't put so much stake in the show that you kind of get in your head. So that like I feel like warming up enough, even if in the warm up you're being goofy and silly. I think that's fine.
I know that when I was in theater school, we've discovered the concept of warming up, and we were like, oh yes, we are actors and we need to warm up. Like it became this thing, but we were doing so much, in my opinion, or at least for me, that I was like, it was sort of detrimental to the performance. Like the warm up, I started performing in the warm up a little bit, and like sort of like doing myself a disservice. Instead of sort of staying loose and like sort of staying focused and not getting too into that. What are and before a stand-up show, what are you doing? What are you doing before a stand-up show? You're looking at your jokes.
Yeah, I look at my jokes and create my set
hanging out
list.
in the back of the room.
Just like, shooting the shit, being a jerk. No, I'm you stand up, I'm still like a lot more nervous before stand-up shows sometimes. But if I've written jokes during the day or worked on a joke, usually I'll go over my point form of that joke, just to remind myself the order of what things are going to be said in. And yeah, usually I like to kind of create the set list, just so I can not think about it anymore and just kind of hang out and talk to people. But yeah, same thing. I mean, usually I wear my watch, but I take out everything else. And I mean, at this point, I smoke, which is not like I'll have a cigarette, but I don't recommend that, or like I'm trying to quit. So that's not like
good for you.
And I'm trying to like the cigarette does nothing for me. So, but as of now, I do that. But that's not like a it's part of my beautiful ritual. It's just that's just
you can get really bogged down with ritual too, because there's a fine line also between warm up and when it becomes ritual. And I was guilty of a lot of rituals I had to do, which were sort of tied to like whether the show was going to be good or not, which is a crazy thing to think. Because it's hard enough to be on stage, and this was mostly for theater. Improv has always been a little bit looser for me, but still I was caught in some ruts.
What's that called? It's like imaginary thinking,
thing, right?
It's like very much an anxiety thing. And
so and you can totally see how like religions get started, like
yes,
as long as I do this thing.
But
it's like, no, you did the thing right because you were like trained and rehearsed and focused, so it's so it can get I think like obviously everything's with a grain of salt, and if it works for you, like everyone's process is their process, so I never like, you know what I mean, like if you need a lot of things, you need a lot of things, but
rituals,
you gotta be careful.
Because I have OCD, so rituals are like a big thing for that too. And I remember when I used to swim in elementary school, we would do like summer swimming before a race. I would apologize to everyone in my life, in my head. I'd be like, sorry God, sorry mom, sorry dad, sorry sister. That would be like a ritual that I have to do to like clear my slate, so that I could have a good
swim.
So I like rituals to a certain extent, but I also like to try and subvert them. It's good to test them. Like it's good to if you always have a type of Gatorade before the show, it's good to try not having that Gatorade and doing the show.
Yeah.
Just to prove to yourself that it's your skill level.
100%, and to see how you feel. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's I had a teacher, and I wear different. I'm a pretty superstitious person.
Yeah, you have a lot of
Little things, but I
Yeah.
started to let go of them slowly of recent. Like
That's good.
let go of, like, because I used to not cheers with water, but now I'm sort of starting to let that go.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm starting to not walk backwards 13 steps when I see a black cat that crosses my path.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to not always wear different colored socks. Sometimes I wear the same colored socks.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But I had a teacher in theater school who was like, put on the same colored socks and see how it makes you feel. And her saying that was like, yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, that doesn't really matter.
But you put so much weight into them. You generate this like imaginary stakes that these things have,
which is crazy.
I've had that.
Well,
I
not
had that
crazy, but
no, yeah, I know what you mean. Like
Yes.
it's absurd. Like
yes,
I've had that with things that I touch with OCD. Like if I see if I touch a pair of sunglasses on the ground, I'll be like, those were cursed. You're cursed now. So I've been trying to let those go as well.
Yeah, no curses. No curses for you, buddy.
So sometimes I'll touch those sunglasses and be like,
and
if
put them
I'm
on with
cursed, I'm
Seagull's
cursed.
hands.
Yeah.
Oh, please.
And that's what I forgot to mention. Is also the infamous Tyrannosaurus Rex sound from Jurassic Park plays at the end of the Oakley's commercial.
It'd be so good. You'd just be like freaking out millions of people.
Yeah.
Okay, a few last words on warm-ups. I mean, I know the answers to some of these questions, Aaron, because I do a lot of improv with you.
Yeah.
But what are your go-to improv warm-ups before you're doing an improv show that you like to do, that are some of them that you like and enjoy and find fruitful?
I like obviously like darts.
Yeah.
You count down 3, 2, 1. You try and say the same word at the same time.
Yeah, that's kind of like a group mind meld game / sort of like focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like bad rap because it's silly and stupid, and I think improv, people came to watch you be silly, not to be cool. So I think it's fun to do something that kind of like chips away at your ego a little bit.
Correct.
Before a show.
That's very cool.
I like a Zoom. But I like scene initiations, like where you get a word and then each of you in a circle takes that word and uses it to initiate a scene. I like that because it kind of gets your brain in that like word scene context, try a line out mentality, which I like.
I like a focusing game, and I like a game that makes you generate ideas.
Yeah.
So your ideas generating, and then I think you're right, like a little bit of something to chip away your ego is, I think, a very good point. Very good point.
You know what game gives me the most anxiety?
What's that?
Count to 20.
Oh gosh, yes. Oof.
I don't like it because when we do it on the serve, we do it outside, and we all have to get into a circle and put our heads down. So it really looks like we're a religious group.
Yes. And
people are always goofing around, and then we have to restart, and then strangers are walking outside, and it's I much prefer the like, I'm a star.
Yeah.
Look at my star. Everybody knows that I'm a beautiful star. I like those in public versus like.
Yeah. Well, because we don't have the luxury of a green room. In the Sunday service, we warm up in an alley.
Yeah, exactly.
We have for many years, so it can really wear on you because we've been bullied a few times. We've been bullied in that alley.
We got bullied by skaters.
Yeah, for sure. The skaters bullied us.
Yeah.
There's been some other instances too of bullying.
Yeah, those drunk women, they bullied us.
They bullied us.
Yeah.
We bullied on that alley, but we deserve it in a lot of ways. Well, that was warm-ups. I think some good things to hold on to there as far as what to do before a live show, and don't get too bogged down in the warm-up. Mm-hmm. I don't want to, whenever I teach, I always don't want to overwater. I like to do light warm-ups because I think sometimes if you do like a warm-up and you're like killing it in the warm-up, you're like, well, wasted all my funny bullets.
Yeah.
In the alley.
Well, I'd like to say, like, I like the nature of comedy treated like a job, like where
Yeah.
you kind of like, I gotta go do the show, because like, especially if you've had a bad day sometimes, like, and you don't, the last thing you want to do is get in front of a crowd and be like, yeah, da, da, da. I like doing those shows when I feel
Yeah.
shit, or I mean, I'd rather feel good, but I feel like it's good if you don't feel perfect right before a show.
Mm.
Like if you feel tired or sad, that sometimes you're like loose enough, or sometimes you care less about the show because
Mhm.
you're like, I don't fucking care, I'm just kind of sad, and you care less, but then that kind of
That
loose energy
nothing
translates
to
to
lose
some
sort
really
of.
good improv.
Yeah, that's really
Not,
wise,
but I
actually.
mean, obviously, if you're depressed, you take care of yourself. But
Yeah, and it's always great to feel, but like I know what you mean, though. I think
yeah,
like that's actually a good thing to hold on to because we feel so many different things before a show,
yeah,
and that can be stressful as far as like, oh, I didn't reach my maximum level of feeling goodness.
yeah,
It's like, well, every like yeah, like sometimes when you have a little bit less to lose,
yeah.
and you can be loose and you can just go in there and be mischievous. It's good.
Yeah, I felt really good before shows and had really lukewarm sets
Mm-hmm.
because I had too much confidence. I was like, oh man, this is easy. And I get out there and I do like one thing and no one laughs. I'm like, oh shit. Whereas like if I go up and I'm like, oh, well, we'll see how this goes, and then you
Yeah,
do something and it's fun, then you kind of
yeah,
like
you
build
go
that
with it.
momentum. Yeah.
Yeah, be in the
Yeah.
moment. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Warm-ups. Figure out what works for you. Do it, but don't do it too much. Let's go
Yeah.
back, Peter. Can you type in those questions? They had a lot of people who really want to know about the Skater Bully event. Um, so we'll get to that. But I thought I'd do a couple more fun questions, and then we'll get to the questions from the chat. Okay, Aaron?
Yeah.
So these are the hypotheticals from this terrible website.
Okay.
Okay, what's the closest thing to real magic?
The closest thing to real magic?
Yeah.
Live comedy, dude. No, the closest thing to magic, like, are we talking like alchemy?
I mean, I don't know what they're like. Yeah, I guess I guess they're talking about like Harry Potter style magic. And so
What's
what is the closest thing to that? I don't know. But I guess we're having a conversation.
probably like illusions? That's like the boring answer.
Yeah, I guess the closest thing to real magic is fake magic. Such a stupid question. Yeah, it's or CGI.
Yeah,
Get it?
CGI.
Okay,
Maybe
what about this? What?
okay,
Okay,
you know what? I would say the Muppets are the closest thing to magic.
I think you're absolutely right on that.
Because when
I
you
think you're
watch it,
absolutely
you're
right.
like, oh,
Yeah.
that's Dog. He's the best. And then,
Yeah.
but then you're like, that's just a guy in a suit going like,
But then also like in the movies, like when they made Kermit ride a bike,
oh yeah,
like they did some magic things.
yeah.
the
Movie
Muppets.
magic is the closest thing to magic.
Yeah. Okay. What's the dumbest way you've been injured?
The dumbest way I've been injured.
Yeah.
I guess. Oh, I fell down I jumped down a flight of stairs one time when I was inebriated.
Falling. Okay, you jumped.
Yeah,
How
and
many?
I
Pretty
uh,
big, a lot of stairs.
about 10 stairs. I did it as a joke when I was
Yeah.
about 24.
Did you say something before you jumped?
No, I had just been asked to leave a house party because I was I was kind of wrestling a bit with my friends. This is all very shameful for me.
Sure, of course. Well,
uh,
you were we were in the early 20s.
Yeah.
We all have about a few house party embarrassing stories for sure.
Yeah, and as a fun joke, I was like, I'm gonna jump down this flight of stairs, and then I sprained my ankle, and then I had to walk around with a cane for about a month.
That cane was a constant reminder of your shame.
Yeah, exactly.
Shame cane.
That
Okay.
was the dumbest time I've heard.
So we have some questions from the chat now. Are you ready, Aaron?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll jam out on these for a little bit. Jen Mansell wants to know, what should I make for dinner?
Ooh, well, depends what you have.
Obviously.
If you, but what I've been making is I make a ginger chicken recipe, but sometimes I just use tofu. It's mainly making a ginger type sauce for chicken, but I just use tofu and eggplant and bell peppers. I just do veggies with it, and then but if I don't have chicken, and then I've been making that. And it's been really good and really easy because all you have to do is make the sauce,
Yeah.
and then cook it with the sauce,
Cook it. Yeah,
and
that's
it feels
beautiful.
like you made a thing. But the way I find all my recipes is I go on Google
Yeah.
and I type in ginger chicken recipe or cookie recipe.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't have any like good websites.
No.
And then I click on the one that says best ever.
Yeah, well, I just click on the first one that comes up.
Yeah, that's true. I click on the first one that comes up. And then
I find the simplest one. I'm like, this one is too fancy.
Oh
a
yeah.
font.
I type in simple pancake recipe. It's like something a caveman would
Yeah, it was like Encino Man, like pancake.
simple sandwich make at home.
Chris Benson wants to know, how does the warm up work now online? I assume the improv warm up or how we warm up with the Sunday service. It's still the same. We just kind of connect pre-show. I think we haven't been doing as many warm up exercises online, but we just sort of connect early and talk.
Yeah.
Have fun and make jokes.
Totally.
Likewise, yeah. Louis or Louis Desfosses or Desfosses. Louis wants to know, Louis wants to know, hey, what was the worst road gig accommodations y'all ever had? I don't have many nightmare stories. I mean, I've stayed in some like some oh no, it would have been the old commercial hotel in Edmonton.
Blues on White?
Blues on White, right? Is that what it was?
Blues on White Ave. Yeah.
In Edmonton, Alberta, where we would stay when we did the Improvaganza festival with Rapid Fire Theater in Edmonton. That was maybe one of the worst accommodations for me. Aaron, what about you?
Yeah, there was like blood on the mattresses, and then one of the improvisers woke up and a spider egg had hatched on his chest.
Yeah.
For me, I did a stand-up show in Nanaimo, and we got put up in an Airbnb. That was called the Dwelling Place, and we found out that the Dwelling Place was a retirement home for elderly people. I don't know why they called it the Dwelling Place. That sounds like a nightmarish thing to call a retirement home. But it wasn't a retirement home. We were on the second level of someone's house, the people who owned it.
Yeah.
So we stayed in this basically top floor of someone's house that had all these weird paintings of women, and there was an aquatic room. Wow. And it was very haunting to be there.
It was terrifying. It was terrifying.
Yeah.
Okay. Spencer Lindsay wants to know, what's an example of a bad improv habit you got into, and how did you get out of it?
Ooh, that's a good question. Bad improv habit that I got into. Well, there's many. I feel like you're constantly trying to bat away bad improv habits that kind of come up.
Yeah.
I would say, do you have one?
No, I guess how you describe bad. I guess, like any habit can become a bad habit if you rely on it too much, maybe.
Yeah.
But you go for it. I found like you had a more fully formed thought there.
For a while I got into a thing where I was pushing. I got into a habit of pushing the content of a scene really heavily.
Yeah, okay.
And sometimes it would really work. Like I would be firing on many cylinders and it would be good. But I kind of got into the habit of that, and then it kind of turned into steamrolling. Yeah. Like when it doesn't work and you're pushing, it's like you're just like not communicating. So a way I got rid of it was just to remind myself that I'm not the focus of every scene.
I think I'm gonna echo that. I think it's because it becomes you maybe lose sight of the sort of the discovery of what's going on.
Yeah, and that stuff's more exciting.
But it's it is fun when you come in with an idea and it hits.
It is cool. Yeah.
But yeah, that's I would echo that. That was a very sage thing to say. Improv habits. Also, I would say the same names over and over again.
Yeah.
Which is sort of like actually was a rut. Like names are such a powerful, tiny part of an improv scene.
Yeah.
It's so interesting how they hold so much power in like they're seemingly like kind of throwaways thing at the same time.
Yeah, because if you give a good like unique name, then people remember it. But if you always call everyone like Tyler Smith, I mean, that one's actually not that bad. But
it's not that bad. Or Jimmy. I just use Jimmy over and over.
Jimmy, yeah.
Love Jimmy.
I know the remedy for it, but I haven't done it because I've been a little bit lazy. Yeah. And I think the remedy is just to look at Well, I've read in books that you're supposed to just like use people from your life and
Yeah.
those people's names, but I think like looking at a list of names would be really
Yeah.
good.
Like
Yeah.
explore names outside of your like knowledge base too. Like
Yeah, totally.
expand like all the different ways people all around the world refer to themselves as.
Yeah, totally.
That's good. Maddie CR wants to know, Maddie Creedence Clearwater Revival. How often do you practice improv?
Oh,
Do you
that's
practice
cool.
improv, Aaron? Do you practice improv ever, like on your own, or we rehearse as a group sometimes?
Yeah, we rehearse as a group sometimes. At this point, no, I don't really practice just because I don't know. I've been doing it for a long time, and but practice is really beneficial, and no matter what level you're at.
Yeah.
I started to try and do like a meetup group with a bunch of people, like kind of like improvisers to try and work on stuff. But I'd say I don't necessarily like practice in my room all that much at this stage, but I definitely do stuff that informs the improv. I think like
Yeah.
some of the outside stuff, like watching media that I don't usually watch, like an old
Yeah.
play or a movie or ingesting pop culture is really helpful.
Yeah.
So I do lots of like kind of infiltrating your mind with things.
Totally.
Um,
I find I actually practice improv without even realizing it. Like, and I don't know, like, but just like I always am talking to myself.
right.
I'm always talking to myself, and I
Yeah.
recently started to sort of try to treat that with a little bit more like, oh yeah, like that. This can be like actually
That you're
like
generating
practice.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
generating stuff.
That's cool. I like that. Yeah, I kind of do that
yeah.
too.
Mhm.
I like to sometimes I like to go on Twitter and just write just kind of improvise writing jokes and just kind of get on a roll. That's really fun. I feel
Yeah.
like that's a form of improv.
100%. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk about the skaters. People want to know about the skaters.
Yeah.
Um,
So we were
well,
warming up.
actually, it's Peter wants to know. Peter Carlone wants to know.
Oh, okay. Like more
Yeah,
of a
our sound
moderator.
person. Yeah. He wants to know about the skater bully event.
Well, there was like we warm up in a little spot that's like a outdoor covered garage, and these skaters wanted to come and skate.
Yeah. That's fine. At
and-
first, it was fine. It was like,
yeah.
sure.
But then they started skating really close to us
Almost like through
They
our
did.
grouping. Like they
through the
skated
circle.
through the circle. Yes.
Yeah. And then they were really aggressive. Describe their jackets and outfits. I don't know, they were just like skaters. They had like some Vans on, some cargo pants, some tie-dye shirt. Every skater
They were a mixed bag of skaters. Every skater type was represented.
Yeah, except for like nice teenage girls weren't there.
Yes, exactly.
Like kind children.
Mhm.
And then so then one of the skaters was really aggressive with us and was like, fuck. Like when they couldn't land a trick, they'd be over there, be like, fuck, and throw their board. And then one of their skater friends, the liaison, he came up, he's like, hey man,
Yeah.
I'm sorry guys, we're just trying to like skate
He
our
was a
spots.
diplomat,
He
yeah.
was trying to be like cool with us.
Yeah.
But I could tell he was trying to like
He was doing his own version of
yeah, he was
aggression.
manipulating us into moving, and then we had to move. It was humiliating.
Yeah, the liaison, the diplomat, the aggressor, they were all there.
I hated the diplomat the most. The
Yeah,
aggressor, because
the
he was
aggressor,
trying
they
to
were-
pretend
yeah,
to be my
they-
friend.
The aggressor, they were just legitimately pissed, I think, about their skating. Like we weren't even there to the aggressor. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
ultimately, like we were just part of the scenery to them.
Yeah, an obstacle.
But yeah, we got bullied in the alley, and well, we stuck together and we just did our little warm-ups down the other alley, close to
Yeah.
another dumpster. So there you go. I don't think we have any more questions from the chat. Peter, are there any more questions from the chat? That's it. Okay, that's it. So we're kind of almost at the end. Maybe some final thoughts, Aaron, on anything you want to plug or anything that like you're interested in watching, shows you're watching on the internet, or things you're doing that people can look at or something. Anything. Plug time.
Plug time. I'm I on my Instagram I like to I make drawings and I put up some funny videos there.
Yeah.
And then on my Twitter I have my own way that I do Twitter that's not unique, but I like it. But
And
If
so
you-
on Twitter, you are at Gullbarf.
At Gullbarf, yeah, Seagulls. I have something with seagulls. I like them.
They're fun.
They're funny. They're like sad. Everyone hates them,
Oh, they're hated on, yeah.
but they're so sad and weird. Like they're just flying around wet city looking for like go easy on them,
Yeah,
you
go
know?
easy on the seagulls.
People call them the rats in the sky. Also, rats. People hate rats. I love rats.
Rats are fine.
I don't want one of them in my
I
house.
don't either. Yeah, I don't. But I don't want a lot of wild animals I like in my house.
Yeah, but they're beautiful, and rats
Yeah.
are so smart.
They're so smart.
Yeah. Anyways, so that's my plug for rats.
And seagulls.
I'm going to yeah, I just put out stuff. I put out little jokes on Twitter. I'm gonna work on a 30-minute, try and figure out how to make like a comedy mixtape. That's what I'm working on right
Yeah.
now. I think I'm gonna get my roommate to film me from afar, doing slow zooms on me standing on a hill, and then I'm going to overdub these short jokes on top of it with like a delay, kind of like I've been really into Jack Handy lately. I think he's
Yeah.
like the best guy. I think he's one of the best comedy writers of all time.
Yeah.
So I've been really into like deep thoughts of Jack Handy. So I'm trying to figure out a way to rip that off without just seeming like a fanboy.
Oh, beautiful. So we'll look for that. Where would we find that? On
I'll put that
one
on
of your
YouTube, but
socials?
I'll put pieces on Instagram.
Cool. Instagram, you're at Aaron Charles Reed.
Yeah, Aaron Charles Reed.
At Gullbarf on Twitter.
Yeah,
And of course, you can watch me and Aaron both perform in the Sunday service.
yeah.
Every Sunday at 9 p.m. Pacific time on our YouTube channel. And I think maybe we can include some of these eventually in the comments section of all the places you can go to find out what we're talking about here, all these links. Right, Peter? We can put that in later. Right, Peter? On the chat? He'll tell me later.
Yes, we can.
Oh my God, he's talked. He was quiet time for 1:30 for Peter because his wonderful wife is teaching a class. So, but he was just brief enough
He
and
whispered.
quiet like a little mouse. He was able to say, yes, we can. Okay, this has been the Faculty Hour. This has been
Thanks for
Aaron
having me.
Reed. Thank you very much for doing this. A wonderful conversation. Thank you to Peter, our pluggy sound technician. And a technician in general. And thank you to everyone who watched live and everyone who will watch live in the future. If you want to stay connected to the Blind Tiger comedy community or take a class, because we are offering lots of digital classes, you can go to blindtigercomedy.ca and check out all the classes that are on offer. There's all over the board, from sketch to improv to one-offs and character pieces. It's a good thing to occupy your time. If you're looking to occupy your time, occupy. Thank you. I'm Ryan. See you next week at 1 p.m. This has been fun. See you later. Bye. Play the song, Peter. Keep waving, Aaron. Keep waving.